The naval confrontation before Hong Kong's return to China. The maritime confrontation between Chinese and British warships on the eve of the return of Hong Kong to China. The return of Hong Kong to China in 1997 appeared to be calm, but in fact, dark surges were everywhere. A recent article in Hong Kong's Wen Wei Po disclosed the shocking inside story of the confrontation between Chinese and British naval forces before the return of Hong Kong. According to the newspaper, 2 British ships in the days before the return of Hong Kong into Chinese waters, and the Chinese Navy Yibin ship, to start more than 72 hours of pursuit, during which the British Navy once made a tiger away from the mountain plan and head straight to the Chinese warships. Hong Kong, Wen Wei Po quoted it stationed in the motherland's southernmost Sanya, a naval frigate brigade of a sailor, said that in 1997, the end of June, our troops were in full swing at the end of June 1997. Our unit was in the midst of a vigorous education program for the return of Hong Kong to China. At this time, the superiors a paper briefing down. Britain, in order to show its military presence, ready in Hong Kong on the eve of the handover, sent a 34 frigates, integrated supply ships composed of the task force, a number of countries in Asia for a friendly visit. For a friendly visit is not true, to show its strength is true. 1. The British fleet wants to show its strength. The article said that at 8 p.m. on Friday, June 25, 1997, on the dock where the ships were berthed, suddenly the brigade's radio rang out, "Emergency readiness to sail, emergency readiness to sail." 10 minutes later, accompanied by the sound of the siren, a friendly ship left the dock to the out of the harbor. It turned out that a British Dagger-class frigate and a comprehensive supply ship were cruising in the sea more than 30 nautical miles away from the harbor. The superior ordered one of the frigates of our brigade to set sail immediately to follow and monitor the British ship. The following day, June 26th, the sailor's ship, the Yibin, left the dock on time for a 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. dive mission. Throughout the morning, they cooperated with the submarine to carry out underwater torpedo attacks, practiced evading the submarine attacks, and other courses. Just waiting for the last course in the afternoon to complete the practice, you can return to the port, but unexpectedly at about 11 a.m., came the base of the order, requiring the ship to go to another location and ordered them to take a shortcut through the submerged training area straight to the designated location. Normally, surface craft are never allowed to cross the demarcated submarine training area during training and navigation. If they violate the rules, they will be notified or the commander will be demoted. But this time, the base ordered the Yibin ship to go straight through the submarine training area, which shows the seriousness of the situation. 2. The 2 countries' warships pass by. Navigation. A variety of briefings and requirements come and go. They must be half an hour to report the ship's position. Require them to pay attention to observe the surface of the activities of the target at any time. All the signs point straight to one result, that is, the mission we are on this time must be related to the British task force. When the Yibin spotted 2 large ships at noon on June 27th, she entered the first level of combat deployment, and at the captain's command, a short siren sounded and the crew took up their positions in accordance with the deployment. We plunged straight toward the target. Suddenly, there was a roar from above the Yibin, and the crew looked up to see a Bobcat helicopter hovering over them, only 100 meters from the surface. He said, "We saw 2 people in the helicopter, and one of them was holding something and looking down." Our crew members were all serious and in high spirits as they stood their ground. Closer and closer to the target. Even the string numbers printed on the ships could be seen clearly. They were British Big Dagger-class frigates and an integrated supply ship. The Yibin sent a message to the other side. "This is China's EEZ. Please leave." The British ship replied, "This is China's EEZ." The British ship replied, "We are sailing on the high seas." The British ship replied, "We are sailing on the high seas." It then picked up speed. The Chinese Yibin's top speed was 26 knots, compared to the British frigate's top speed of 28 knots. But because of the slower speed of the supply ships accompanying the British frigate, the British formation could not distance itself from the Chinese naval ships. The Yibin sailed straight to the British ships at a distance of 2 chains, i.e. 360 meters, while the 2 British ships kept changing their formation. One time the frigate was in front, The other time, the supply ship was in front. The strategy adopted by the Yibin was to follow the supply ships and press them to the south. Afterwards, the British ships broke up the formation and sailed in different directions. The Yibin kept following and kept reporting the position of the ship and the British formation to the base. The most tense moment was at 8 a.m. on June 28th, when the British frigate suddenly turned around and headed straight for the Yibin at high speed. The captain of the Yibin ordered the ship to slow down, but it still sailed in its original direction. The distance between the two ships was already 100 meters, reaching the limit of evasive range. However, the two ships did not collide in the end. At the last moment, the British frigate played a large rudder angle from the Yibin starboard side of more than 10 meters across. The chase came to an end. Yibin was then ordered to return. Returning to the base, Yibin received a commendation from the base.